Good morning, guys. It is April 2nd, 2022. And today we're in chapter 22, verse 3 through chapter 22, verse 5. And it says, "The next morning, Abraham got up early. He saddled his donkey and took two of his servants with him, along with his son Isaac. Then he chopped wood for the fire for a burnt offering and set out for the place God had told him about. On the third day of their journey, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. 'Stay here with the donkeys,' Abraham told the servants. 'The boy and I will travel a little farther. We will worship there, and we will come right back.'" So we see a lot here. We see a step of faith and obedience in the fact that Abraham is going out to the place where God told him to go to sacrifice his son, because that is what God told him to do. But did you catch the last part of this where he said, "We will be back"? We will be back. He didn't say, "I will be back." So Abraham believes that God is going to do something to save Isaac. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows that God made him a promise, told him that he would have many descendants, and he can't quite do that if Isaac's dead. So God is going to step in somehow. Now, Abraham doesn't know how God is going to step in. He doesn't know what God is going to do. And I don't know if he thinks that God is going to resurrect Isaac or what he's going to do. But Abraham knows that God is going to do something. He tells his servants, "You stay here. We are going to worship, and we will be back." How many times in our lives do we know God has promised us something, but yet we can't see the forest through the trees? We can't see that God, when he promises something, then he will make it happen. He just wants us to step out in faith. He wants us to believe. He wants us to obey beforehand. God wants us to show that we have faith in him, even when it seems like he's going against what he had promised us. You know, Isaac was supposed to be the covenant child, the child that made the descendants of Abraham and would create all nations. That was supposed to be Isaac. But God is telling Abraham, "Go sacrifice." And Abraham was probably sitting there going, this makes no sense. But God wants our obedience. We struggle with that. We struggle in the face of a blessing or a promise made by God. We struggle when we feel like God is asking us to do something that's completely contrary to what he said. But we need to step out in faith. So my question to you is, what is it that God is promising you, and where is it that God is asking you to step out in faith and to be obedient, and where do you struggle with that? Remember, we have to be honest with ourselves and with others. We can't sit here and say, everything's okay when we are struggling, when we are saying, "But God promised me this," yet he's asking me to do something that's going to make the promise not happen. Just like this, just like Abraham. Abraham was promised that he would have many descendants, but yet he's also told to sacrifice Isaac at the same time. But he obeys. Even though he doesn't understand, he obeys. So I know it's a struggle. I struggle with this. I struggle with obedience sometimes. But we need to step out in faith. We need to say, okay, Lord, I don't know what you're doing, but I know you're doing something. I know what your promise was, what you made a promise to me for. But I will obey. I hope today you see Jesus in all you do. And I hope today you see God all around, God's promise all around you. And I hope you have a wonderful day.